Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast,
where things will be misquoted
and opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded.
Hey guys, welcome to Locked and Probably Loaded. I'm your host, DJ Qualls. I'm here with my good friend, Kelly Blackheart.
That's
hey,
me.
Kelly.
Hey.
How you doing?
Great.
Great.
Oh, nice glasses.
I got these years
I didn't
ago
see that switch.
at a bachelor party in Las Vegas. They say beer goggles. And they're beer.
Should I just do one up?
Yeah, I like it. It's very Lady Gaga of you.
Thanks.
So guys, hey, welcome. We are newly back. Actually, I think we're pretty close to current now, aren't we?
We never know. We
I never
might
know.
as well
I have
not
no idea what's happening.
ever say that we're current because
Okay, we're here. We're here, and you're here.
we're here. We're queer. Get used to it.
Basically. So Kelly, tell me all the things. So I didn't ask you, we're just reunited now. I haven't asked you what you've been up to since I've been away.
Nothing really. I mean, my car was in the shop for a week and a half. I had a rental. Oh, so I was telling you in the car and you said, don't tell me. I went and picked up a rental, and they do like the walk around the car, and they show you all the dents and all that stuff. So there are, of course, a lot of like scrapes and all that stuff, and they're like, don't worry, these are all like standard. So I go to drop it off, and we're looking around the car, and he's like taking pictures of everything, and he's like, was that? And I was like, yeah, that was there, and I was like, because I picked up the car, I drove it straight to my house and kept it in my garage for a week. I think I only drove the car one time.
Yeah, I've been gone. You haven't been outside.
Yeah, I have not left my house. And so he's doing this. He's like, don't worry, we won't charge you for this. I'm like, yeah, I didn't do it. So of course you won't fucking charge me for it. But it was like, it felt like he was.
I've been
was
through
that
that.
there? I'm like, yeah. Do you guys not take pictures of this before you give them out?
I rented a car in New Orleans to drive to Lafayette in February, and it's raining. It's like storming really hard there, and I'm worried. I haven't driven in that kind of rain since I was a child. And we do a quick run around the car. It's fucking raining, and he was like, don't worry about it. And I get in the thing, and I'm like 15 miles into the journey and realize that the windshield's cracked.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, fuck. And I go back, and the guy who was looking at it was like, don't worry, I'm not going to make you pay for that. I'm like...
Yeah.
I was like, are you trying to elicit a tip out of me?
Right.
Because
that's what it felt like.
I'm not going to pay for it.
That is exactly the feeling where it's like, don't worry, I'm going to let you off with this. And I was like, I've driven this car less than 10 miles. I didn't do any of this stuff. So don't act like you're doing me a favor. Your car was, and it's not even like it was fucked up. It was all superficial damage. But it was very annoying.
You should have just gone and parked it over at Billy's house and let that lady have a turn on it.
Well, I mean, that's what I was saying too, is like this was the most seamless situation I've ever had with an accident or something like that. Like, I never even had to contact my own insurance. The body shop that I went to has dealt with the other person's insurance company a bunch of times. So like, I didn't have any money transfer issues. It's just like, I dropped my car off, I picked it up, and I walked away. And it was great.
See, that's the worst thing. When something happens to you, you're like, God, I'm going to be on, they're going to put me in like a telephone loop.
Yes.
Where it's like a choose your own adventure where they're going to hang up on me eventually, and then I'm going to have to call back and do this. Agent.
Yeah.
Agent. It's screaming. I guarantee you that somebody has made money on just looping a bunch of people doing this. Agent.
Yeah.
Agent.
Oh,
There's probably some porn based on this.
Yeah. Well, Biden apparently just proposed a few policies. One of them is that if you subscribe to something online, you have to be able to cancel online, which is great.
You can't do that?
There's a lot of companies that you can't cancel online.
So
it's like call us to cancel.
Right.
Or like
put you in a
gyms,
maze?
for instance. Like 24-Hour Fitness, I had a membership with before the pandemic, and then tried to cancel during the pandemic. And they're like, you have to come into one of our locations. I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, okay, send certified mail. I'm like, how about we're on the fucking phone right now and you just cancel my fucking account?
Could you write it on a brick and then throw that to the fucking window?
Certified, you fucking assholes. So there's many of those. And then another one was that you have to be able to talk to a person on the phone when you call for customer service, like through just clicking a button, because
not by saying agent angrily 74 times.
Because I'm sure there are so many people who are fine with using the automated systems for many things, right? It's like you don't want to talk to a person, but when you need to, it's fucking impossible.
Here's the thing that makes me crazy is that the problem I'm having, I'm there because the fucking automated system doesn't have a choice for it.
Right.
So, and then to be told that, well, you know what you really should need to do by a computer voice is you need to log on to the website or the app. And
go talk to our AI chat.
Why am I here?
Yeah. There's been so many times where I've tried to like get customer service through an AI chat on their website, and it's like I type something in and then they give me some unrelated fucking thing, and they're like, did this help? I'm like, no, fucker, it did not. And then they're like, sorry, we don't understand.
Maybe
what would you like help
Maybe
with?
you have low self-esteem because you don't have a man in your life.
Have you tried anal?
Is this helpful? Yes or no?
Here's an article about how to not be lonely. I never get lonely.
See, I don't feel lonely either.
Ever. Like, I literally never feel lonely.
I want to be alone more.
Me too.
Let's think about sex and you go sit over there.
We have a bunch of like emails from our Buzzsprout fan mail.
I think this is very good to do like every other episode.
Yeah.
So let's
and I also added a question box on our Instagram, and so there's some things there too. So let's see.
Is one of them, do I have low self-esteem because I don't have a man in my life?
Yeah. Did you write that? Okay, first one. I'm not going to read the usernames.
I do have a man in my life, by the way, so don't. I know how this works. Then this will be all over the internet saying that I've befallen tragedy. Everything's fine.
Somebody said y'all should Google turtle penises and discuss.
No, I don't want to see anything gross.
I think they're just like corkscrews, aren't they? They're like
have like actual turtle penises, not humans with turtle penises.
Yeah, I would think so.
But see, here's the thing: when you do that, sometimes you can see things that you can't unsee. But I'm wearing beer goggles that are not my prescription right now.
Yeah,
so.
No, I think we're talking about actual turtle penises.
Okay, I've actually seen a turtle penis, not in real life, but on the internet.
While he's looking that up, somebody said just had a super awkward hookup last week. What's your biggest WTF moment in a hookup?
Oh.
God, almost all of my hookups have been what the fuck moments. I've got one. I was hooking up with a guy one time. After we had sex, I go to sleep, or like get ready to go to sleep, and I always sleep with one arm under the pillow. And so I put my arm under the pillow and I feel something hard, and so I like pick it up and it's a Nuva ring, and I go, is this mine? And he's like,
that's a birth control device,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my birth control. And so I go, is this mine? And he goes, yeah, I thought it was weird that you would not tell me that we were having sex on your period. And I go, do you think this is a tampon? So, why is it under your fucking pillow? If not, you just took out my fucking birth control, you moron.
Did he find it and hide it under his pillow?
Yeah, he while we were getting ready to have sex, he took it out because he felt it.
Oh, right.
And he took it out because he thought it was my tampon.
I don't know any of those words. Why is that?
So that was one of the first times I got the morning after pill.
Wow. That's like a fucked up tooth fairy situation, isn't it? What does that turn into the next day?
Not money. It's money drains from your bank account because all of a sudden you're fucking pregnant or you need to pay. And of course I had to pay for the fucking Plan B by myself.
How much was Plan B back then? Do you remember?
I think it was like around $50.
How much is it now?
You can get them cheap. I think you can get them on Amazon now, so they sell them for cheaper. But
probably Plan B is not something I would comparison shop. I probably would go back to a source, probably buy it from a brick and mortar. I could go back and complain if it didn't work.
Well, the thing, depending on where you live, it's hard to get Plan B because
it's illegal some places, right? Is it illegal?
There's that, but also there's a lot of fucking judgment from some pharmacists and stuff like that.
Like
so
you go in and be like, oh, this whore wants Plan B.
yeah, basically,
Really?
it's like the whores are here. Get the Plan B. Slutty slut did not use protection last night, and you're like, no, I did.
I found my
the guy
Nuva ring
literally
under his
took my
pillow.
Nuva ring out. So that's my bad.
You know
Sorry.
what you should do if anybody out there is getting Plan B in their community and you start to get any attitude, tell Kelly's story. Oh yeah, so I tried, but this guy took my Nuva ring out and
He
put
thought it was
under
a
his
tampon.
pillow. So just overshare. It's remember that time I told you if you're not getting seated in a restaurant, do gay stuff in the door and you'll be seated immediately. This is like that, but with Plan B.
Yeah, there's only one time I ever haven't paid for Plan B. And it was a guy who...
Oh my God, I had the worst joke ever.
What?
When somebody pushed you down the stairs.
No, that was twice. that happened twice. No, it's a guy who is now a multi-millionaire. He was on a season of Shark Tank, and has a very successful business. But he came over, and then I was like, I joked around at the end of the night. I was like, all right, just make sure to leave some money for some Plan B on the nightstand before you leave. And I woke up the next morning. He was leaving for a cruise the next morning.
He left you an insulated thermos that
he
went
left
on
me
to make...
$100. I made $50 from that sex. I thought about not getting the Plan B because I was like, I have a millionaire's baby.
Exactly.
But no, I did not want that.
It would be funny if he left you like salad spoons or whatever he sold on or a small share in his company. I don't have any money right now, but this is going to be
would have
huge.
taken the shares for sure. He was already rich at the time, but I'm sure he's like
Women are
really,
so
really
lucky.
wealthy.
They can have sex with rich and powerful men. Don't you feel lucky?
No, he ended up being a piece of. I
Was he
found out later that he was cheating on his girlfriend, which I didn't know that he had at the time, and he was
hate
trash.
People.
Yeah,
I
know.
That's the thing. It's confusing because I also really love people.
Yeah,
It's really disgusting. We're monkeys. We're just fucking monkeys. We'll do like my dick is hard, so therefore I'm gonna have to do this and do it.
Yeah, I've never especially when people are married. He wasn't married at the time, but it was like a serious relationship that I had no idea about. But it's weird to me because like I've had plenty of orgasms in my life, and while they feel good, they don't feel good enough to blow up my entire life.
Exactly.
And so that's bizarre to me that people are willing to risk it for this moment of pleasure. I don't understand.
So, ladies,
that.
what we're trying to say is, if you go on a date with a guy and your response to him is he's lazy, unmotivated, unimaginative, grab him.
Yeah. Get somebody with no other options. That's the best way.
Eat this donut so you won't leave.
Do you have any what the fuck hookup moments?
I must, because I've done everything, but I think that I'm so much an is person. Like I'm not like a oh my god in the moment of what I'm like. Well, this is what's happening right now. This is what we're doing. That nothing really stands out to me. Let me think. I mean, I've hooked up with a bunch of people I should have hooked up with.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Like
that's literally
almost
my
almost
entire
without
sexual
fail.
history.
Almost without fail. So I can't really think of anything. So I'm gonna pass on this one. Tell me, do something else.
Okay, somebody also messaged because I posted a picture of one of our text messages.
What was it about?
It was just the earthquake thing.
Okay.
And they said it was Emmy, and she said,
Hey, Emmy.
Kelly, hold on, where did it go? She said, Kelly, what in God's name is DJ's contact photo? Isaac, I just sent it to you if you want to pull
I have
it
a
up.
contact photo? I don't even know this.
Oh yeah,
Let me put on my glasses
it's
so I can
us.
see this.
It's us in our fitness era.
Oh, did we have a fitness era?
Yeah, remember when we did that photo shoot?
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
So that's the picture because multiple people had asked me about this. It's a really good photo shoot.
That gives me anxiety. Like I'm sure that person has a great life and 0% body fat must be dope, but like I could see that guy's pancreas. It's the skin is so tight, and also it's like leathery skin.
I like how you say that, guy, as if that's not you 6 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I do have
you had tattoos, DJ.
I do
he's
have
got multiple
I have tattoos
tattoos
in real life though.
The barbell armband.
I would rather be dead. Hold on. I do have a photo of me that somebody photoshopped of me exercising. That's a naked guy. I haven't taken a picture of a naked man in years, and one just pops up on my phone randomly, like as a memory. I don't remember. Hey, memory bank. I don't remember that.
Somebody from Portland said, "Love you so much, guys. Your podcast is one of the best parts of my week. Your humor and honesty makes this one of the best ones I've heard, and I love the natural connection you two have."
Oh, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Portland.
Thank you, Portland.
Somebody said, Lincoln, Nebraska. I've been so enjoying the Locked and Probably Loaded podcast. One quick question. I know you have mentioned the band who did your intro song, but I swear it sounds like DJ singing the male part. Is that correct? No. Even though
Jack Hackett.
It's Jack Hackett of the Doohickeys, who is a signed band. They're awesome. Check them out at the Doohickeys. They do shows all the time. So if you're in LA, go check them out. We love them.
We do love
Jack
them dearly.
Hackett and Haley Brown.
Hey, Haley.
Okay, wait. Let's see. Now we've got one. Oh, here's the one I was telling you earlier. Who's your celebrity crush, or who was when you were a kid?
Oh, Patty Duke. I think I told this story. Like, Patty Duke was did this show in the 1960s. I didn't understand the concept of reruns, and I had a tiny black and white TV, a portable thing that we bought at a yard sale as my television. We was Poe, and and then somebody bought me her autobiography, and she was 49 or something, and I realized that I've been living a lie, watching the Patty Duke show, and then I ran into my room and went face down on my red corduroy bedspread, and then woke, and then my dad's like, "Get up and wash your face." And I went to the mirror, and I remember I was like probably 9 or 10, looking in the mirror with red tear-stained face and a corrugated outline.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
On my, look at that. That's me. That was my exercise years.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
That would be my dating profile photo.
And now your celebrity crush is Andrew Santino?
My celebrity crush is Andrew Santino. I'm actually going to do his podcast soon.
Yep.
What's it, Whiskey and Ginger?
Whiskey Ginger.
Yeah, Whiskey Ginger. And I was like, oh my God, that's my celebrity crush.
Yeah, because I messaged Andrew's a friend of mine. He's from the same area that I am, and we met out here. But just an awesome dude. Always really cool. And I reached out to him. I was like, hey, what about having DJ? He's like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. And
He's
so
very tall and ginger and funny, and those are the things I like the
when
most.
When I hit you up about him, you're like, you were like, does he have that accent from Dogpatch Lake?
Oh yeah, he doesn't though, does he?
He's got a bit of an accent, but not.
I didn't notice it on Beef.
But he also, interestingly, was on Punk'd. Did
Was
you
he
know
really?
that? Yeah,
No.
he was like one of the main. He wasn't on your episode, but he did a lot of the pranks on Punk'd.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
He's so tall. That would seem to be. It's hard to be like.
Well, he's like 6'1".
Oh, really? He films bigger than that. That's the number one thing I hear, by the way, in public. People come up to me like all the time.
You're
so
taller
much
than-
taller
yeah.
in person.
Yeah.
But I thought he was about 6'4".
Yeah, he does have tall guy energy.
He films tall.
But yeah, you're going to be doing Whiskey Ginger
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks.
So that's kind
That'll
of
be fun.
my type right there. I like people who I like gingers. Although we talked about this? Have you ever seen a naked ginger guy? They have hot pink baby balls, so it feels like you're committing a crime.
Oh, come on.
Well, that's interesting because
They do. Like, you know, all babies have those hot pink balls. Those are the color of adult ginger balls, and you feel like you're going to be on a watch list just from having sex with them.
Well, one of my celebrity crushes has always been Conan O'Brien. Because like I used to say, I mean,
you know that the carpet matches the drapes.
Oh, for sure. But it's I have multiple different categories of celebrity crush. Like
I love Conan.
the ones that are immediate for me are the ones with awesome personalities that are funny.
Yeah.
Like it's like Conan O'Brien, Ty Burrell, Jason Segel, like the funny, goofy guys.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking strictly like hot, I always thought Channing Tatum was really hot. One of your previous neighbors, Aldous Hodge, is really
Yeah.
hot. Jay
Hey,
Ellis
Aldous,
is really
you're out there.
hot.
I love Aldous.
I loved, like, growing up, I loved Tyrese and Brian Luttrell
Yeah.
from the Backstreet Boys and
See,
Jeff
I've
Timmons.
never really been attracted to people purely for hotness.
Yeah, that's why it's like
Yeah, that's such a rare thing.
those people never made my list was always Conan,
I
Ty
can
Burrell,
acknowledge when somebody's
and Jason
attractive,
Segel.
but it stops there. But
Yeah,
people who are interesting,
yeah,
it's like
or funny or have great personalities. Yeah,
that
I've
really is a
never
thing.
that is such an interesting thing too, because people talk about like celebrity hall passes, and I've never really been able to answer the question, because until I get to know, there's nobody that I know that I want to have sex with based on what they look like.
Yeah, or their
or
job.
even their personality. Like
Yeah.
I would have to know what the connection was between us.
I've joked with you that if I had a vagina, I would have $47 million because men are so stupid. But I probably wouldn't. I probably have $21 million.
Yeah.
So
Tomato, tomato.
I'd be doing a lot less than I say that I would be doing. But personality is everything to me. You've got to be funny, or not even funny. You have to be. There's something about, like, if you love something, if you're passionate about something, that makes me really attracted to you. Like, even if it's something geeky. Mm-hmm. Like if you have a Dungeons and Dragons game that you go to and it's something that you really, really love, just don't do it in front of me. I don't want to hear the voices. And I'm not speaking about anybody in particular, especially not my own partner who goes to a Dungeons and Dragons every Saturday night.
Oh yeah, he was telling me about it when I was
Ty
in
got kicked
Vancouver.
out of his Dungeons and Dragons. Or they tried to kick him out once because he
Did too many voices?
No.
Gosh.
It's because his character was so good that he kept vanquishing or whatever they do. Like, he kept killing them. And, like, he was like, well, I have an invincibility cloak of 47 and a truth dice of 12, and the arrow that I shot had to go true because it was the third roll of the whatever. But he's very good at it. And his fellow nerds got mad at him. And they tried to throw him, like
he's too powerful.
Yeah, things have gotten bad.
I just saw a TikTok of a podcast clip the other day that it was an actress with an actor, and I don't know either of their names, but the guy was asking, she's a dungeon master, and he was asking her about Dungeons and Dragons. Do you know the clip I'm talking about?
Yes, that's the girl from True Blood.
Yeah. The blonde.
The redhead.
Or is she redhead? I don't know. She
What's
looks
her
kinda
name?
blonde. But he was asking her about it, and she did something so fucking brilliant, because people want to explain the game and how it works and all that stuff, and she just went right into the game. She's like, well, here we go. Like, we're in a forest right now, and you hear this snap. What do you do? And he's like, well, how far away is the snap? And she's like, that's a good question. You would roll for this, blah, blah, blah. And she like gets it right here. So like we can play
Yeah,
this.
show me
You're, like,
this.
in the game, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's just
this
yeah,
is
it's
a
just
long-
collaborative storytelling.
We can
with
play a little bit of
some characters.
I remember
You tell
her.
the story.
Yeah, I'm a dungeon master, so I've written an arc and created a world, and then players explore it. And I make calls as to like how difficult it is to climb a wall or fight a monster or that kind of thing.
And so if you say this is a real difficult monster
Who's
to
that?
fight, then
John
you got to come up
Bernthal.
with a different
Oh,
way
I
of
love
fighting it.
Johnny B.
Yeah, or
John's my
either
friend.
I mean, it can just.
I don't have
be
my glasses on.
how hard
Hey,
it is,
Johnny
how
B.
long the
I love
thing, or
Johnny.
It might be how do you negotiate your way out of it. If you can't actually kill a dragon, but it's going to eat you, how do you tell it not to? So there are other kind of checks that you can do, persuasions and deceptions and intimidations.
So, like,
and
go
all
Then
that.
forward
you
a little
decide
bit.
Whether you beat the dragon, the person
Whether
beat the
it's
dragon.
yeah,
or
there are
not.
stats. There's a jokes and said that he was
And another.
handsome. He just has been sheltered. So when he got out in the world and started investigating, he thinks that he's this charming, suave individual, but his stats, his like literal charisma
this
stats
isn't
are
the
very
part.
low.
Okay,
It's
so
some
let me just stop this. How many people have seen this video?
I've only seen the clip on TikTok.
It's 365,000 people have watched this. That means that 250,000 of them shot their load watching this. Like a hot woman who's into Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah.
is every nerd's fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, it was, so this is a longer clip. I think the clip I watched on TikTok was like maybe 2 minutes or something like that. But she immediately like gets him into a scene, because people will like, I love Settlers of Catan, right?
What does that mean?
It's a game.
Okay, I don't know this.
And people will ask what the game is, but the best way to learn a game is just to start playing, and you learn as you go. And
Yeah.
the way that I teach people is I'm like, let's just start playing, and I will tell you if the moves that you're making are kind of messed up or not. Like
problem
I'll
with
give you
the-
some guidance on the
problem
first
with that
round.
strategy, though, is that people that are really good at something or really into it are usually not patient unless they like the person. Like, that's why, every time I'm at a friend's house who's a gamer, who's like an adult male, is calling like a 12-year-old a cunt. You know what I mean? Like the
Well, these
kid-
are like
he's
these are
12.
these are board games that you're playing with people in person and stuff like
but
that.
you usually do it with a crew based on a history, right?
Yeah.
Because like you build this character over time. So I found that, well, I would not found, but from what I've heard of it, it's pretty cliquey, right? Like people love to shit on it, and the people who are in it don't care that it's being shat upon because they're like, this, you don't understand.
Right.
But also, I can't imagine somebody being invited to somebody's Dungeons and Dragons game. They probably would not invite me because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, but it depends.
Unless it's like a pyramid scheme.
There's also, I think there's varying levels of how seriously people take it, right? There are people who, like, Ty is very into it. He's got his
very
own
into
sets of things and all that stuff. And, like, I play Settlers with Grant and Mylene whenever I'm home in Chicago, and that's usually the extent of it. So if somebody else comes in, it's they're excited to play with somebody new because I introduced them to this game and they love it so much, and so they're excited that somebody else might have fun playing this game. And so it's and they're like, cool, a new person that will likely beat. Like, but the way I run people through the game first, where I'm giving them a little guidance on what the best things that they could do are, and then after the first game,
It's on
like,
them.
all right, so now we play.
And then you start posting things about them on message
And then I
boards.
destroy them every fucking time. Yeah. So I just thought it was really brilliant.
Deborah
because,
Ann Wolf's her name, by
Yeah.
the way, from the clip.
Yeah. It's just like, because I think at this point too, everybody has a little bit of ADHD when it comes to paying attention to rules, because how do you conceptualize the rules of a game when you're not seeing what's actually happening? It's like there's language that's used,
And it probably
there's
evolves
rules,
over
there's-
time based
yeah.
on the group that you play
Yeah,
with, right?
and so when you're trying to explain the rules to somebody who's not even looking at the board or something like that, you're like, it's in one ear out the other. And so I just thought it was cool because you could see him as she's taking him through this scenario, you could see him like light up, and he's really thinking about these things and he's asking the right questions. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, but I understand the concept of it, and he's already going, like, asking the right questions, like, well, how far is this thing? And she's like, we find out it's about 20 feet away, and she's like, and it appears, and it's this owl bear. It's a bear with the head of an owl, and he's like, have I met an owl bear before? Which is like something maybe I wouldn't.
They make
think
it
to
up as
ask.
they go along,
They make
right?
it up as they go
So it's
along.
like Scientology.
It's just basically improv, yes, and Scientology, which are the same thing. Which is why the Scientology building is right across the street from UCB.
It is. The Celebrity Center is right across the street from
yeah.
UCB. I have some things to tell you about Scientology.
Then tell me.
So years ago, I was on a TV show with an actor who's a Scientologist. And so a lot of my initial friend group when I moved to Los Angeles happened to be Scientologists because my publicist at the time represented a lot of the Scientology men. And so I know they're second generation. So these guys are second generation. Everybody I knew was second generation Scientologists. Actually did a movie where my principal was a Scientologist, and his daughter is a giant actress currently working today. And so I was familiar without being familiar. And so this is what I was told when I was hanging out with them. I'm like, these people are really cool. And so my friend said to me, they are really cool, but if they ask you to go to Kirstie Alley's birthday party, just say no. Okay? So I'd avoided all of it. And again, second generation Scientologists don't proselytize. It's people like Tom Cruise and people who are first generation that do it because I guess they feel like something's fulfilled in them and they want to share that with people, or they have something on you, or both. You know what I mean? Because the e-meter session is basically a lie detector thing, and I think it's taped, and they ask you rapid fire questions, so they get dirt on you. And I think it's actually called something. Like if you leave Scientology, you become an SP, a suppressive person, and they have to cut off contact with you. And then there's a word that they use when they have something on you. It's like asset or collateral, or there is a word. Yeah. Right. And so anyway, so I made friends with this group, and they never asked me to do anything Scientology related. And then I was on this TV show with an actor, and they were having their summer gala. Did you say gala or gala? Gala, right?
I say both.
Yeah,
it kind of
summer
depends
gala.
on the
It was their summer gala, and it was at the Celebrity Center, and I'd never been there, but I tried to cancel at the last minute, and he was like, because I didn't want to go. It felt to me like like a timeshare thingy, right?
Yeah.
So I tried to cancel. Like these tickets were like $2,000 a person. and I bought you a ticket. And so I went. And what was crazy is that I thought that most of the people I knew wouldn't be there. And then lo and behold, I was surprised. A lot of people that I knew were there, who were out of town working, who were suddenly there. And I met like Nancy Cartwright, who's the voice of Bart Simpson, and John Travolta was there. I met him. And what a good actor. He's a really good actor in real life, because the way he is in private is not that. And I'm not saying anything more.
Take from that what you will.
Yeah. So I'm there, and so my friend's mother is like in charge of the Celebrity Center, and it's at the Celebrity Center. And first of all, the Celebrity Center is beautiful. It's a giant castle basically on Franklin, right across from Birds.
Yeah, it's
and the Upright
gorgeous.
Citizens
Yeah.
Brigade. And there's a wall around it. It's a fortress basically.
Yeah.
So I go there, and all the kids, like I guess the servants of the Scientology world are like the valets, and they're like, that's what it is basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the people on the Sea-Doo program or whatever it's called, they're the servants. And the celebrities are sort of like the royalty. And so I go there, and my friend's mother takes me on. So first of all, I feel so loved and included. They start asking me questions about like acceptance and all. Do you think that we're anti-gay? We're not. We're really not. That's a common misconception. It's like, actually, we all identify as.
We're all gay as hell.
Yeah, exactly. Bend over. Have you seen this website about anal sex? No. Why does everybody look like a Matisse painting? Wait, her hand is backwards. No, they were like, we are about acceptance and growth. That's what we want. Nothing more than you to be happy and resolved. And I'm like, okay. And so shakes me around. The place is beautiful. Takes me on a tour, and then they get me to agree to do something called Purif, is where you go to their place in like the desert, like Desert Hot Springs or Palm Springs, and they pump you full of niacin, which I take anyway, but like high doses, and you sweat out toxins. And it really, apparently it works like to purge yourself of like toxins, because people who like firefighters who were in 9/11 have gotten free Purif, and and literally it leached out tar and stuff from their skin. There was a guy there who was a speaker who was a fireman who had gone through Purif. And I don't know if he was Scientology or not, but he was telling all this stuff. So they got me to agree to go to do this purification ritual. Because I think it was one of the times when I'd stopped smoking. I've really stopped now, but I probably started when I left there. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. And they're like, we'll comp you. And then if you want to audit some classes, you can, and those will be free too. And just come and see if you like it. And I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with that. This can't possibly be a trap.
What's the harm?
Yeah, I know. All these people are my friends. Nothing's good. No, I'm not out in Hollywood, but who cares, right? You don't care. Of course, I'll hold those two little things and you'll videotape while I do it. I'll tell you everything. You know what I mean?
I think it's good that this castle has my secrets. Nothing could possibly
So
go
the
wrong.
moat is filled with glass and alligators. How interesting! And so I'm leaving, and I have to cut out early because I'm going to the dark room on Melrose to meet up with some friends, and my friend who sort of introduced me to all these people was like, so how was it? I'm like, it's great. I'm actually going to do a Purif in a couple of weeks with blank in Palm Springs. And she was like, could you wait a week on that? Could you like just wait a week? The next morning I woke up like this. Oh my God. I think I'm smart.
Yeah.
I think I can see through bullshit. I think the first test is on the personality test. Are you as happy as you can be?
Yeah.
It is so persuasive, and we are all, as humans, we're pack animals, and we want to feel like we belong. And especially if you're an artist, like you're a weirdo, and all of these things it sort of clicks into, and abandonment issues and all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
they're professionals in exploiting people's weaknesses and insecurities and going, that's fine.
And
we accept you here.
They don't tell you about the spaceship stuff until you're in.
Yeah.
Like they don't tell you about evil overlord Xenu until like you're walking. Some of the basic tenets are Buddhist.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. They don't tell you. So you're walking down a path of shit that makes sense to you, and then it starts to veer a little bit to the left, and you don't realize how far you are from the path of like common sense insanity until it's too far fucking until you're like
that's every cult, right? Like people talk so much shit about cults as if they would never be susceptible to joining, and it's like they don't the same as abuse. It never starts with abuse. It starts with all of the really lovely stuff and the stuff that is easy to agree with. It's like we want to make the world a better place, we want to love everybody, we want to build community, we want to have joy and all of these things. And again, once you fall in love with the community and the circumstances, that's when they start inching their way towards the abuse and the really crazy shit. And they do it in a way that is so organized that the first thing that they introduce is still not Xenu.
Right.
Or it's still not hitting you in the face. It's, I'm going to start controlling where you can go and who you talk to or whatever. And then there's always plausible deniability. It's like, oh, well, they didn't mean it like that.
Of course.
Or whatever it is. And then it snowballs.
It's cult mentality. It's the same way that people triple. They're always saying he didn't mean that. He meant it like this. They will explain away anything he does. And also, I have to add to before we move on from this, do you know that Darwin on his deathbed recanted basically said that he was praying and basically said that a lot of what he said wasn't true because he was hedging his bets. I would like to say this, that I just made up that whole story about Scientology. It's all alleged, just in case somebody tried to sue me.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Allegedly, all that allegedly happened. Allegedly, I did this TV show with this guy who was a Scientologist, and you can't possibly Google that and put that together. It's all alleged. You can't possibly Google some photos of me from the early 2000s to find out who any of these people were. All allegedly. None of this happened. None of this is real.
Yeah. He's an actor.
I'm an actor.
And good at improv.
Also,
he actually never went to the Scientology building. It was UCB the whole time. He was just looking at the Scientology building.
It's improv.
Yeah, it is improv.
It's improv. But I do have a friend who had to like escape under the cover of night, go down the back staircase, and before she left, though, she told the public that she was being followed and all this stuff was happening. Mm-hmm. And I have another friend who claims that says, and I believe her, that she was basically auditioned to be the new girlfriend of this actor.
Oh, wow.
That a lot of girls were called in.
Yeah.
Under the guise of it being a project.
Yeah, I know a guy. We had a guy as an expert on, I don't know about that.
Allegedly.
Jim
None of that happened.
Jeffries. Well, this one is not alleged, and he is fully out.
And you can't be sued. You can't be sued for saying it, right?
No. He was our Scientology expert on. So I used to do a podcast called I Don't Know About That with Jim Jeffries, and every week we had an expert on a new topic, and we did one on Scientology. And this guy was a former Scientologist, got in through his parents, and his dad is like a major player in Scientology, and he's also a keto doctor. Like Is
his wife missing?
No.
Okay.
It's not allegedly David.
Is his wife allegedly missing?
No. But he's this.
Where is she?
I don't know.
We've seen Richard Simmons.
Where the fuck
we saw
is
Richard
Shelley?
Simmons before we saw her.
Yeah.
Is that her name, Shelley?
Shelley Miscavige. Yeah.
Where is she? And so that's something we can't be sued for because I'm right. Nobody has seen her, right?
No. Yeah.
It's like she was here one day and now she's.
I'm hoping she's just hiding somewhere. I'm hoping that's the case. But
like
allegedly,
where would she be hiding?
I don't know. But allegedly, things don't go well.
Why don't they perform a wellness check? They performed a wellness check on Richard Simmons.
That's what's so weird about it is because allegedly her family cares about her, but it's like you're not updating anybody on what's going on, and doesn't seem like you're actually looking for her. So one might think that allegedly she was dead.
And allegedly, do you think they've been paid off? Or are they still looking for her?
Well, allegedly, I think that she's dead, probably.
No, but has it been like 17 years or something like that?
Yeah, it's been a fucking long time. Did you say?
Okay.
Oh wait,
she went missing in 2007, and then detectives in LA found her and her attorney in 2014 and said she was safe and alive.
Allegedly.
Okay. No, they said that we're not going to be examples of whatever.
No, that's on the internet.
Yeah, we're not going to be.
Well, the internet's never been wrong.
I'm saying that we're not going to be misinformation people. Okay, so they found her.
Yeah,
and she's alive and well.
Yeah, but he escaped from it, and he's now a suppressive person. Like, is he's no contact with his family, but that makes sense
Did you
because
read that
they're
letter
still
that
involved. And
Paul Haggis wrote, the
No.
open letter that he wrote in, I think it was the New Yorker or something. It's heartbreaking. It talks about like how, you know, he was separated from his daughter.
yeah.
You know, I mean, no, his daughter was separated from his grandparents because they left the church. And Paul basically asked directly, "Are you donating money to Proposition 8?" And he was lied to. Like it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think with any cult or
I mean, it's
even
all
when it comes
kind of
to
culty,
like
right? Religion
politics,
is so
right? Like there are
divisive.
so many people who are now no contact with their families because things have just gone down such a fucking hole.
It's awful.
That if you are in any type, I mean, I think you and I would never join a cult at this point because if they told us to show up to multiple meetings a
Oh my
week, we'd be
God,
like, "Are
it's
you
way over
fucking
there.
joking?" Like
It's way over there.
I don't have the energy to go to that many events. But I understand how people get roped in, especially when you move to like, you know, these big cities where it's like you maybe move from a small town to a big city and you're trying to find friends and
Well,
all
the
that
personality
stuff.
test was on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, yeah. I harass the fuck out of the Scientology people when I'm out there. But it really is one of those things that it's so if you ever are finding a new friend group or community and they are suddenly giving you ideas to cut off contact with the people in your
Right.
life that care about you, that is your first
Yeah, it's a
fucking
warning
warning sign. Like and even if it's like somebody's going, you're telling them like, "Oh, I don't have this great relationship with my parents," or whatever it is, and they're like, "You probably shouldn't talk to him anymore." Go talk to multiple other people that are not in that community before you ever cut off contact with people that can actually help you.
Here's what I want you to do. If you get involved in a group of people and they're telling you things like the people in your life are bad for you and you haven't had that thought previously, if you start looking at people around you who loved you until you started thinking differently about them and it's coming from a single source, imagine it's like somebody has called you and asked you if you want to extend your car warranty.
And say yes.
They do not have your best interest at
Because you
heart.
should actually need that warranty for a really long time. We've been trying to reach you about cutting off your family forever.
You see the TikTok where there's a Scientology security guard outside, and some guy walks up and says, "Go inside," and the security guard just walks back inside.
No,
You can tell the security guards they're not allowed to be outside. You gotta be like, "You gotta go back inside now," and they're like, "Okay," and they have to.
Oh, interesting. My last apartment before I moved to the place I'm at now, I had a patio that was overlooking a certain part of the valley, and the year that I moved out, they built a Scientology center there, and so I would go sit on my patio and just have a view of that. I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
They own a lot of real estate in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Like,
but these are
like,
buildings that
they
are
own heritage
allegedly
buildings, right?
empty all the time.
but they own heritage buildings, I think. Like some of the buildings are like pretty, like are listed buildings.
Yeah, there's a lot of allegedly shady things going on because it's not that big of a religion. There's no reason for them to have as many buildings as
And as
they
much
do
power
around
as
the
they
world,
do, and also
as much
to
power,
have
yeah.
to be able to instill fear like that.
Yeah, it is crazy because it's just the persistence, right? It's like they will make it their mission. If somebody tries to leave the church, they will make it their mission to ruin
Intimidate
that person's
them,
life.
follow them.
It's like
I've
another
heard- I've heard-
abusive situation. It's
I've
like, what's the
heard-
point of leaving?
I've heard alleged dog poisoning.
Yep.
Like
Going
they'll
through your
fuck
mail.
with you, fuck with your car.
Yep.
Spreading misinformation about you, so you lose your job.
Yeah.
Also suing you frivolously into bankruptcy is
I prefer my bankruptcy done by me.
exactly. I'll be responsible for my own financial ruin. Thank you.
Yeah, you were talking about CDU before. It's Sea Org, and so they
Sea Org.
sign like a 1 billion-year contract.
That's what it is, right? Billionaires.
And I don't know, maybe have a lawyer look at that first. I can't imagine signing a 1 billion-year contract for anything.
I don't even have a contract with my cell phone provider.
And I don't even think I'm going to live that long.
I may
Why
go,
would
I'm
I?
looking into it.
But yeah, they get paid like no money. It's basically slave labor under the guise of they're doing it's. Allegedly, it's one of those things where
And they
it's
work all the
basically
time,
just
right?
human trafficking,
They
right?
basically do
they
whatever
work all
the time, and they have no time to brush their teeth, then put on a vitamin C,
Moisturizer, yeah,
a vitamin C serum, and let it soak in.
and brush their teeth and floss while they read for 15 minutes, and then put on another cream on the back of their hands.
Put on an eye cream.
Yeah.
And then let that soak in,
Yeah.
and then put on a thicker moisturizer over all of it,
Yeah.
and then put on a less expensive vitamin C serum on the back of their hands,
Yeah.
and then cover that with a thicker moisturizer. They don't have time for that.
Yeah, they don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And that's another reason. We'll talk about what they do have time for, though, on Patreon, right?
They have time for a lot of stuff. And here's the thing, but because Patreon's behind a paywall, I think we can talk about stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. Allegedly.
Can we be allegedly sued for things that we say on our Patreon?
No.
I don't think we can.
I mean, they might try for anything, but we haven't made any claims. This is all stuff that's out there.
All right. Oh, that's right. The only things I told were my own experiences, and that was just facts. They invited me to the summer gala.
But they were really lovely, and you wanted to join.
Actually, that's what it was.
Yeah, they actually might send you money.
Actually, and I don't even eat steak, and I ate one that night. And it was a damn good steak. I'm like, how are you?
If they just opened a restaurant.
How are you doing this? How are you making me eat steak right now?
Guys, we'll see you next week. You can check us out on social media at LoadedPod on TikTok and Instagram. And send us an email, probably loadedpod@gmail.com. And if you want to join us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/loadedpod. We do monthly live happy hours. You get the episodes a week early, and you get video. You can see what glasses we're wearing every week.
I'm wearing beer goggles right now. Am I? No, I was. I'm wearing regular sunglasses now. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We love what we do here, and we love that you are loving it too and supporting us. And I will end this by saying that none of this was true. It was all made up. Allegedly. And if you want to know the real story, go to Patreon. Bye.
Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast.
Where things will be misquoted.
And opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded.